Hey fifth graders, we are going to take a look at lesson 13. In this lesson, we will be multiplying a fraction times a fraction. Before we have been doing a fraction times a whole number. A fraction times a fraction is very similar, but it does have some differences. So let's take a look at them. Hopefully it's not too difficult for us. Now, here I am going to do the problem sets. I am on 1A. And in 1A, they have it done for you. So let's walk through exactly what the heck it is that they just did. So what they are doing is 1/2 of 1/4. Now, what they have to do first is, or what you should do first, is draw out your 1/4 here. So first I'm going to draw out my 1/4. And then you can take half of that 1/4. So in order to draw 1/4, you have to make 4 equal parts like they did so here. And they shaded in 1/4 of that. Now, what it's asking is to take half of that 1/4. Well, all you would have to do is cut it into half. And now you can see how much just one out of those two would be. So just one of these is worth 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 total. So that's how they got 1/8. Because when you take half of that 1/4, you created all 8 new parts. So just one of those two would just be one of the 8 in total, okay? It wouldn't be 1/2, it would be 1/8. That's a common mistake that kids do. Young adults in these types of problems. They want to take it as just 1 out of the 2 here, okay? So let's practice because I know it probably doesn't make complete sense. If it does, feel free to try them and come back to this video if you get stuck. So I'm going to take a look at B here. And in B, Okay, so we're taking a look at B here. Now, B is asking how much is 1/2 of 1/3 pan of brownies. We all love brownies. So imagine we have a whole pan, then we're going to take a look at 1/3 and then half of that third, okay? So in order to do this, I'm going to pull up my handy dandy whiteboard, and I have 1/2 of 1/3 of brownies. So to do this, I am first going to draw out my brownies. Here's my brownie batch. And I'm going to cut it into thirds because it is cut into thirds there. Okay. Now I'm going to shade in that 1/3 that I have. And now it helps me to label, to keep track, 1/3. Now what I'm going to do is take this 1/2 and cut my pieces into half, like that, okay? Now it's asking how much is 1 out of this entire tape diagram or area model. Well, if you take a look at it, it's worth just 1 out of 6 total. If you're wondering where the 6 came from, well, we have exactly 3, 4, 5, and 6 total pieces, okay? So 1/2 of 1/3 is the same as 1/6, okay? So your answer for this one would be 1/6 pan of brownies. Not many brownies there. So now let's do, so you can go ahead and try C based on what we just did. C is a little bit different because now you're taking a fourth. which is not half, but a fourth. Okay, now let's take a look at C. So for C, it is asking you to take a fourth, which is written as 1/4 of 1/3. Okay, so a little bit different, but the same reasoning applies to this. Let's go over to the whiteboard. Whoosh. So if we are going to take 1/4 of 1/3, first we're going to draw out our third. Okay, we got thirds right there. We shade in one of those three. And now we want to take our third and we're going to cut it into 4 more parts. So I recommend you always cut horizontally, so sideways like that. And that gives me 4 new parts. Okay, so here is where my 1/3 was. And if you are looking at one of those 4 new pieces that you just made, how much is now this little piece worth? Well, this one you have 1 out of, what's your total? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So you have 1 out of 12. So your answer for this one would be 1 out of 12. Okay, let's go on to the next one. There's somebody outside. Should be quarantined. Shame on them. We are going to take a look at number 3 here. It says 1/2 of Ila's workspace is covered in paper. 1/3 of the paper is covered in yellow sticky notes. What fraction of Ila's workspace is covered in yellow sticky notes? Who uses sticky notes? Not me. Okay, so let's look at this problem because I think there's a lot of words in here and it might sound confusing, or it might sound more confusing than what it actually is. So let's draw her workspace. Here's her workspace. And it says that 1/2 of it is covered in paper. Okay, so 1/2 of it is covered in paper. So let's say that all of this is the paper. Okay, so there's the 1/2 that's covered in paper. And now it's saying that 1/3 of the paper is covered in yellow sticky notes. Okay, yellow sticky notes. So if 1/3 of this would be this much, that would be 1/3. It's saying what fraction of the total workspace is covered in yellow sticky notes. Well, that's pretty easy to find. We would have 1 here out of, let's see how many total. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I should have done that in blue. Okay, so we have 1 out of 6. And that's how much is covered. Now you would need to answer in a complete sentence. I'm not going to do it because I am extremely lazy. But don't be like me, be better than me. Answer it in a complete sentence. Okay, I hope that helps for lesson 13. If you do have any questions, please feel free to post them down below or get in touch with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and please make sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay, have a great day.